The National Association of Social Workers Code of Ethics, 2008, states that cultural competency and social diversity are an ethical responsibility of a social worker. According to Cross et al., 1989, cultural competency is a set of congruent beliefs, practices, and knowledge that comes together across a system to provide services multiculturally. In other words, cultural competency is providing services in a way that makes sense to the person you're providing them to. Our Code of Ethics is very clear that a social worker should understand culture and its function in human behavior and realize that all cultures have strengths. For example, in gang culture, a gang kid may get to an appointment 10 minutes late, and that can be interpreted culturally as being treatment resistance. However, in looking at it from the gang culture perspective, it could be that that kid had to travel across numerous gang territories to get to your appointment, and therefore the fact that he or she arrived on time and unscathed is a strength. Social workers should have a knowledge base of their client's culture and demonstrate competency in the provision of services. For example, motivational interviewing is an excellent tool. It is also an evidence-based practice, but cannot be applied across all cultures. There are some cultures that require more direction, such as Asian Pacific Islanders, in particular those who are new arrivals or first-generation people. These people might find it very offensive that the director of services, the social worker, is asking permission to ask questions, when in fact that might be seen as being very disrespectful to the social worker. But cultural competency is not just an ethical issue, it's a legal issue, and there are numerous laws that guide it. For example, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Executive Order 13160 from the Clinton administration on limited English proficiency, the Americans with Disabilities Act. There are also numerous state regulations. In the state of California, these include Welfare and Institutions Codes, California Government Codes, California Code of Regulations, Title IX, the Mental Health Services Act. According to Stanley Sue, 1998, the multicultural reality of America requires social workers to gain skills and to work on the process of becoming culturally competent. This has been further exemplified in the Mental Health, Culture, Race, and Ethnicity, a supplement to the Surgeon General's report of 2004 that states that most cultures influence some aspects of mental health, and that the prevalence of mental illness cuts across cultures equally, yet disparities still remain. Ethnic and cultural groups experience socioeconomic disparities that include racism, violence, poverty, all familiar systems for social workers, and these systems negatively impact mental health. While stigma, institutionalized racism, historical trauma, and the development of psychology itself impact service delivery, Ivy, 1995. For example, to utilize talk therapy in some cultures is appropriate, but to utilize it with a recent arrival from Vietnam, where speaking about one's family secrets might be taboo, could negatively impact services. It's important for social workers to remember that one size does not fit all, and it's important to start where the client is, and this can be done through a cultural assessment, use of cultural brokers, and remembering our code of ethics.